Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Khadija from grade 10 and today I'll be continuing the seminar as part 3 showing or explaining you about people's right over environment. The chapter name is Sustainable Development with Equity. Development equity. So here I'll be saying about people's right over environment. So first, what do I said that development over environment, like the people who are development, this environment, how they are utilizing the environment and what are the situations or conditions faced by the people. So now at till the limit they have faced, and now they are out of limit to face, so they are having cases, movements, and they have movements and they are speaking to the government, they are writing letters so that the government should get aware what's happening to his country's people due to development by destroying the environment. So first, attempt cases of modern development caused large-scale environment problems. So the cases which government have took place in the country have caused a large scale of environmental problems. Like for example, the water is getting polluted and air is getting polluted. For pollution, you take pollution only, and pollution is causing major health issues of the people. Pollution is the major cause which is having a major health damage of the people. Now cases such as Narmada Valley development project. Here there was in Narmada Valley, they wanted to construct electric dams and get electricity by taking this Narmada Valley. So what did Narmada Valley people, it is near Jalsindi village. So the Baba Mahalia was the head of it, and he wrote a letter to the government saying that like whatever they are facing because of this taking Narmada Valley into consideration of development, what are they facing? So these people have raised their voice. Project. This was this Narmada Valley was the largest river in the whole country. And it was largest river also, and this scheme was also largest scheme in the whole country to be taken or considered the development. One of the largest hydroelectric projects of world to suppose or to generate electricity was this only. India was the first in whole world to take this such a big large project over Narmada Valley. Now, after when they take into this consideration, the people don't get proper facility of the food, of the fishes which they take from the water body, and due to the building of dams and due to heavy rains, the floods also occur, and because of that also they face many problems. So because of this, the people raised a voice. And another project was Sardar Sarovar Dam. project. So wanted to build. Here also they wanted to take this Sada Sarovar Dam. Narmada Valley was the project which they only said to the people. When after that only the people raised their voice no. And here Sada Sarovar Dam project was such a project that it took the place. And what it caused 37,000 people, 37,000 hectares of forest it took into its flood. 37,000 hectares of forest was thrown to flood due to this dam. And this forest was not only the land of the people, it was also considering agriculture land and people's residing land. The people who was residing over the land in the forest, they was also thrown into the floods, displacing 500,000 people and destroying India's most fertile land. And these floods caused much of the problems. They displaced the people and it destroyed or it eroded the fertile India's most fertile land, including with 37,000 hectares of land. The most huge people, like in proportion, if we see the people and the things which was thrown, the most people was from of Adivasis and Dalits. These people was thrown. Half majority was these people. By seeing this, the Narmada Valley people near of Jalsindhi village, they wrote a letter to the government. In 1944, 1994. Access to environment serves large number of the people's needs. What do you mean by this? Access means like for example we have access to teachers for studying. When we don't understand any concept, so teacher is available for us to help in, for us to explain us. So in the same way, when we don't have teachers, so we can't understand the concept and we have to search other resources. In searching other resources, we waste our time. So in the same way, when we don't have access to live a good life, in the sense we don't have access to environment, like for example we don't have access to vegetables, fruits, fresh air and fresh water and fresh land, then we can't live. We can't understand where the time waste and people die and many problems occur. So the access to environment is very necessary. People nearly in rural areas, rural areas are so attached to the environment.
What do you actually thought first?
When they leave this, they finish their lives. Like they don't have any access to anything. Like for example, the richer becomes richer and the poor becomes poorer. So the poor won't get any facility to move further to live a good life in for their future generation or for them. But this richer people, they will spend their money and they'll buy everything what they want. So here, so most of the rural people are dependent on environment because of the poverty. So when we destroy environment, it affects rural areas. And when this disconnects, and when these people disconnects to everything, then it will take displacements. Now this displacement will be of like country to country, state to state, district to district. This will be taking the place. also these rural people took a movement for environment. Chipko movement. This Chipko movement wherein the women's and girl child was sticked to the trees. Like they was not sticked, they was clamping to the trees. So that the one who is coming to cut down the trees, they was unable to cut because of the women and girl child. So this movement took this movement so that the people who are destroying the environment should stop. This was led in the year 1970. In Garhwal Himalayas of Uttarakhand in India by Sundarlal Bahuguna. He was the person to start this Chipko movement to stop cutting off trees. Although these projects provide them electricity, irrigation facility, this did not provide the proper place for living, place to live for them. Displacements was there. The government was giving them only money, and they wasn't giving and providing their proper homes or houses to live. When they have to displace to the natural place, and they lose homes, forests, and means of living. There are many things will be there. For example, if I am living in a region known as Sedawal, so I'm living there from childhood. So I'll be knowing every facility from there. From where I'll get the milk, from where I'll get the meat, from where I'll get the groceries, from where I'll get the vegetables and fruits, from where I can relate to my relatives, and from where to go anywhere where I want. And when the place is held for any project or any process, so I have to displace from there. So when I displace, I don't get all those facilities, and I will be unknown out of it. Like for example, I will be moving from Sedawar to any other place from where I don't get any facility, and I will be unknown of everything. So it will be so hard me to settle, and it will take a long time. And in that long time, many things can happen. Like for example, my money loss will be there, and my health problems will also be there, and I'll be not prone to the climate area over there, and I'll be having many problems over there. So displacement causes these many problems. Now what's the sources? What do the people get from? Why do they try to leave the environment? What environment actually provides? Local environment. It is actually a source of food, fuel. We take it from the underground, and further we can rear on that local environment. We can rear the animals to get the products from them, catering, and further in the sense we get the food for animals over there in local environment, can be agriculture. So in that, whatever the left dry grass will be there, that can be fodder for the animals, and due to this and doing these jobs, they can get income by selling in the environment itself. So rural communities are dependent more on environment due to these facilities, food, fuel, fodder, and income. Their livelihood is only there for this, to get this resource. And when they don't get this source, and when they don't get these all things, they can't live. Environment should be protected when we are using it, so it should also be protected. When we have environment protection, we need also to have social justice. Social and social justice. This is environmental protection and social justice is connected to environment. Like when we don't have social justice between richer and poor, untouchables and Dalits and the Adivasis and good personality or bad personality people, and when we don't have these social justice, then we won't even have environment protection, because richer what they will do and good personality people what they will do, they will show very bad like they will behave very badly with the other people, other caste people, or to the poor people, and they occupy all the resources getting from the environment. And this, because of this, the environment will not be distributed among the people equally. They will only, in the name of development, they will occupy everything, and they will only use it, then they won't provide it for the poor and other caste peoples. So in this way, when we don't have social justice, we won't even have environment protection, and we won't have environment protection, we don't have proper environment to live. The environment will be destroyed. We think that the poor will suffer a lot and richer will not suffer. There will be a time when richer will be also having a time to suffer, because they are only destroying now, spending the money and finishing everything, and at last they won't be left with anything. First the poor will die, and then this will also die. Now coming towards conclusion of this whole chapter. Sustainable development with equity. Now, what the richer people will think that growing GDP and modern industrial growth is necessary for living. What they will say? Increase in GDP and industries growth should be necessary for living. And during the process of increasing these two things, the people will face a lot of things. The one who is helping this also, they will face a lot of things. So they will think that we need to sacrifice when we got any good product. So they will sacrifice. But these people need to understand that whatever they are destroying and getting the products will be there, and the environment and everything is destroyed. It won't get repaid. And they also say that once we sacrifice everything, once we sacrifice and damage everything, we can repair it later. But they need to understand that whatever they are going to damage to the environment is not reversible. It is irreversible. Reversible problem. Like once the climate is changed, it will never change again to the before how it was. Once the ozone layer gets depleted, it won't form. Once the water bodies are polluted, it won't get unpolluted. Once the air is polluted, it won't get repollute. Like it won't get fresh again. Once done means done. They need to understand this. Now for this, I'll give an example of this, that like for example, we are living in a lifestyle and celebrating and encouraging the environmental damage, and we are inviting diseases to our home and spending thousands of rupees as its mehmani, like what we can say, when a guest comes, so we will serve him a good in a good way, right? So in the same way, we are encouraging the environment in the name of development, or destroying to encourage, and we are inviting the diseases to our home and spending thousands of rupees on it. It is the same calculation of our life. Like we are destroying the environment and saying that it is good for us and it will help us later, but no, it is only good for now, and later it will damage a lot, and it won't be left even single for your future generations. Now pathway out of environmental issues. Now here, a pathway out of environmental issues, we human only destroy, so we human only have to think about pathway out of environmental issues. What measures can we take to come out of this? The one who is intelligent and think for future generation, they can only take out the way. So there are some people who took out. So first is local advocacy. What this community people did, they have aware the people about the damaging process of environment, and they have like they have built campaigns around every place on the area, and they have aware the people about environmental rights. What are their rights to get proper things from environment, and they have aware the people for sustainable development around the people with equity. Then second is judicial action. In this, the court linked the healthy environments to the right to life. The court linked to right to life. When you are living, you have to live a healthy life in which you have to get a fresh air to breathe and fresh water to drink. Pollution free water, pollution free air. They have said article number 21, which is right to life, and they have mentioned that the people have to get pollution free air and pollution free water. It was in article 21. And what Delhi people did, as it is a capital country of the capital state of the country, so population will be more in Delhi. So the Delhi government started to decrease diesel over CNG. Like the vehicles which was using diesel for their mobility, they have to use CNG, compressed natural gas. They have to use this so that we get pollution free air. But this has temporarily affected the people and temporarily gave benefit to the people. But at last what happened? The one private car manufacturers, they manufactured cars a lot, and every one family of four brothers was having four different cars. So one car was using diesel, and this from one family, if I get four cars with diesel, then I can think of many people's family having cars with diesel, which helps in promotes in polluting the air. So again, this was affected temporarily, and it was polluted again. The air was polluted again in Delhi. Temporarily affected car manufacturers completed the story of this. Then global cooperation. In global cooperation, now as I said, in Delhi only less people in Delhi, only some people, if they took action over their vehicles to go to CNG, not use diesel, so it did not affected whole state, because this was used only for some people. And if the whole Delhi used to use this, so private manufacturers also you have used to the private manufacturers, car manufacturers, and also had manufactured the cars which use CNG for their mobility, and this affects the whole state. In this way, if one country took the action over environment's damaging, so it won't affect globally, as the climate change will affect whole globe, and one country is taking action, so it won't affect whole globe. So whole countries present in the globe have to take action over environmental damaging issues. For example, Sikkim. In India only, no, not Sikkim. Now, after global cooperation, community innovation. What communities did for their benefit? Initiatives. In this, what they did, community organization created sustainable practices across field, pioneering fisheries and industries. They have they created sustainability over local practices. For example, in fields, mining, fisheries, industries, transportation, or any other things, whatever they were using the environment, they have created a minimum things, like not using artificial, not using anything. They have just gone to the natural things. In simple way, they was doing everything. And after local initiatives, they focused on food. Why food? When there is no food, there is no human, no country. So when the human is energized with the food, he can think many things. He can take precautions over things. The one who doesn't eat food, doesn't get energized, he can't do anything rather than destroying everything. So the food is also important for the human to get energized, to boost his mind, so that he can live an intelligent life by not destroying the environment. And third is organic farming. And the food they are eating should also be good, right? They shouldn't be mixed with fertilizers and pesticides and with insecticides, chemicals. They shouldn't be mixed with chemicals, so that when they eat food, they don't get proper energy which they had to get. So organic farming is also necessary, in which we use everything naturally. no fertilizer, no artificial fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, chemical fertilizers, nothing. We only use organic farming, organic fertilizers to increase the soil fertility and increase the nutrients in the fruits and vegetables. Natural techniques. What in natural techniques to avoid this environmental crisis? What the farmers did, they relied on traditional crop rotation. Natural techniques. Farmers relied on crop rotation. In this, their energy was also saved, water was also saved, and due to the climate, the climate also helped them over this. And natural compost. Instead of using artificial, they use natural compost, fertilizers, and biological pest control. They use biological pest control. Biological pest control in the sense the natural, for example, the birds and some animals and some insects eat this pest onto the crop, right? So they have increased the population of birds, insects and vultures to control the biological pest growing in their agriculture farms. Then soil health. In soil health, the beneficial microorganisms for the soil is used. Like for example, for getting energy, we eat energizing foods, right? And when we get ill, so we'll take the pills to get healthy, right? So in the same way, when soil gets infertility because of the environment crisis, so we use two bacteria for their health. Rhizobium and Azotobacter. They use these two microorganisms to increase soil fertility and soil health, and these naturally enrich the nutrients in the soil. Now Sikkim, state in India. It took action over organic farming, and the government of Sikkim said that we need to decrease the using of chemical fertilizers, and we should wholly dependent on organic farming, and even name should also not be there of chemical fertilizers in our country, in our state. The government said this. So he made the innovations in such a way that the people of Sikkim, the farmers of Sikkim, should only use organic fertilizers.
I'm feeling bad that I did not respond.
In the year 2015. And now, by seeing this, Sikkim, Uttarakhand also followed the same path. Uttarakhand followed.
I have to respond, or you? I want to not respond. I don't want to.
To use organic fertilizers.
But it's something else.
And they wanted
Not giving something.
to use 100% of organic farming in their country.
My mother is asking for
This was the situation in Sikkim, and another situation in one more district of Telangana, Zahirabad.
Monday, when I said I was I went down.
It is a district in Telangana, and Telangana is a state in India.
I said her.
What the government did before in Zahirabad, before and after. Okay.
That finished after some time. Some incident
before he promoted people to only increase in production of wheat and rice. Increase production of wheat, rice, so that it is so tasty and it is so nutrition. It contains nutrients. He thought like this and he said to increase wheat and rice, and it is a commercial crop, and it takes a lot of water. So for many of the years they started to increase only the production of wheat and rice. Slowly what happens, when it needs everything fully, the lands got destroyed, the soil got eroded, the water was decreased, and there was no crops left in the district to eat or have. There was no security of food because of this. So what do women of the district did after this happened? In Zahirabad there is a place named Medak. The women of Medak, they started a movement in 2000 year. In the year 2000, back village.
She was unable to accept it. And I said, and she was very happy with it. And I was very proud.
What they thought, only why to eat wheat and rice for food? Why to buy wheat and rice for food? We can also take other cereals, right? Which contains millets, bajra, jawar, other potential foods. It will be hard, yes, but it will be more nutrition than rice and wheat. So we shall, and it doesn't need any more water, and it can also grow in the dry land. So they thought this and started the movement of black millets, and they have started the movement, and this idea helped in growing in dry lands. They started to grow millets in dry lands. As there was no water and anything, so many of the lands was dry in Zahirabad. So this dry lands also got helped in growing millets, and after growing these millets, they distributed among the district, and it helped a lot of people, and it secured the food supply of their district, and they even started a PDS system of millets in their district itself to distribute the ones who cannot buy the millets. And in this way, the Zahirabad got affected a lot because of this. So many people took motivation because of this. As it came in the book, I'm saying to you also. So here, what I observe Islamization about this chapter is to live simplicity. When we follow the Umar Sallallahu life, and when we live and we use these sources in such a way that it is benefited to others also, so it will be very good for the country itself. And he even said that whatever we are choosing for ourselves, good for ourselves, we have to even choose for others for their benefit. When it's their benefit, even it's ours benefit. When it's ours and theirs, it's means whole country. So at the end, I conclude that we need to live in simplicity life. This Islam says, and Jazakallah khairan.